What's up everyone, it's registered dietitian Kara Corey. Today's video is going to be a little bit more eat this, not that. I was driving up north this weekend and I passed by my favorite childhood restaurant growing up, which was the local Dairy Queen, and it got me thinking about how bad I wanted to eat a Blizzard. If you haven't had a Dairy Queen Blizzard, those of you that have had like a flurry from McDonald's, or it's just a blended up ice cream with lots of different toppings in it. So it got me thinking I wanted to make a recipe at home to make a more macro friendly version of this. So for me, I like to be able to not restrict myself. Sometimes I might have Dairy Queen, but it's nice to also find alternatives to be able to make these recipes at home so you know exactly what's going into them and they're just as tasty. So to get started today, we are gonna make a peanut butter protein cookie dough blizzard. To get started, all you guys are gonna need is a blender. I'm just using my basic Ninjas. You probably have normally seen me use. You don't need anything too fancy. So for this, I am using the MTS protein powder in peanut butter fluff. So what you're going to need for this recipe is some type of yummy protein, and what I'll say for you guys too is the protein is not always created equal. So if you're not using MTS nutrition for this recipe, I can't speak to the thickness and the creaminess of the recipe. So I highly encourage you to obviously use MTS for this recipe, and I'm going to use the PB fluff. But first thing I'm going to do is to put our liquid stuff in the blender, and what I've got here is just a bunch of ice cubes, like 10 to 15 ice cubes. Throw those in the blender, and then I'm just going to kind of estimate here. You're going to need some type of milk. I'm using the unsweetened cashew milk, and I'm going to use about anywhere from like a cup to 10 ounces. I'm not being super particular. It's probably more like 10 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and pour that to my blender. The one thing you will need that may not be on hand is some type of thickening agent. So I like to use Xanthan Gum, and we're going to use 1 teaspoon of this today, which adds a couple carbs because it is a thickening agent. But this is what's going to get your ice cream really thick and creamy. So if you don't have this on hand, can you still make it? Yes, you can. However, it's not going to get thick. It's probably going to be more like a milkshake. So I encourage you to get Xanthan Gum. If you don't have that on hand and you need an alternative for a thickener, another great alternative would be a frozen banana. So if you have a banana on hand, throw it in your freezer, chop it up, throw that in here, and a banana is going to provide that creaminess to it as well as some potassium. So that's a great alternative. So we've got that in there, and next I'm going to add 1 full scoop of my MTS peanut butter fluff protein. That's going to give me 25 grams of protein as well, which I normally would not be getting that much protein from my Dairy Queen Blizzard. Okay, so that is all we're going to add in there, and I'm going to plug my blender in. And what you're going to want to do is be a little bit patient with the blending process. I like to blend it on a high speed and then let it blend on a low speed for about a minute. And blenders don't really sound great on camera, which is why I'm telling you what I'm going to do with it. So you're just going to want to take a few minutes to allow it to blend thoroughly so that you're getting all the ice cubes all mixed up and blended in there. Nice thick creamy consistency. And you may want a spatula too. You may want to kind of move it around while it's blending. Just so you guys can kind of see the consistency of the ice cream. It should be nice and fluffy and thick. So I probably let it blend for about 2 minutes or so, and you can put it in whatever you want. I'm just going to put mine in a cute mason jar, so I'm going to go ahead and dump that in there. So we've got our peanut butter fluff ice cream in here. Next for toppings, what I'm going to use are the Enjoy Life semi-sweet mini chips. So you can do, I'm doing a full tablespoon of those guys, which are 5 fat and 9 carbs. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those. You can leave your toppings on the top, or you can kind of mix it all up in there. All right, next ingredient, beautiful part of this, what we're going to add, I've got a big blobber here of cookie dough. What I purchased was, it's edible cookie dough in oatmeal chocolate chip. So for edible cookie dough, what you guys can find, if you don't need to necessarily buy this brand, what I was looking for was to make sure I had something that did not have eggs in it so I didn't risk getting sick from eating raw eggs. So what I suggest you do is whatever grocery store you go to, check out like their health food section. Usually there's like a vegan section, and if you find some vegan chocolate chip cookie dough, that's going to be a safe bet that there's no eggs in it, obviously, so you could eat that. Or you can take your chances and just get raw cookie dough and go for it that way too. But what I measured out here, just to keep it macro friendly, and I still get a good portion, I did a half a serving of this cookie dough, which is like almost 30 grams of cookie dough, or essentially the size of one cookie. So what I'm gonna do is just kinda, it's very soft, I'm just gonna kinda do it in like little chunks. And just kinda put all my little chunks in there. All right guys, so it's that simple. I've got all my toppings in here, and I have my more macro-friendly version of my peanut butter cookie dough blizzard. So I'm gonna give this a little try right now. The beautiful thing, since it's higher protein and we've got the xanthan gum in there, it's very filling too. Delicious. So what I'm gonna list for you guys right here is a comparison of the nutritional breakdown of my blizzard compared to a Dairy Queen cookie dough blizzard. So you guys can see the difference. I'm not claiming this is like a nutrient dense type food. This is just a better choice for you. So I hope you guys give this a try and keep checking back for more.